is Chandra in Tallahassee again, doing a little soap opera talk today. Um, this is going to be about B&B. I keep saying it's so annoying. Anyway, yeah, today's episode was kind of like for me. It's like it was a quiet episode, but it had it almost had a Y&R suspense to it. Everything was like really low key, but still, pretty intense, except for that dramatic water situation with Brooke and Dollar Bill. Like, oh, I want some water. Oh, but I don't want it from the refrigerator. Can you get it from the cabinet? And he's like, okay. Oh, not the big one. Could you get me the little one? And he's like, okay. And then his dumb ass, I love Dollar Bill, but he was kind of dense today. He was like, he still didn't spell it. He was like, okay, here goes some water. And she's like, I am trying to do everything but tell you. And finally she just like, look, sniff it. See what it is. And of course, he was like, oh gosh, you know. Although to be honest with you, I mean, I felt like she had been doing an okay job of pulling the wool over his eyes, but I guess you still know. Like if you are married to somebody and you love somebody, I guess you still know when they're not quite being themselves. I just still don't see like why she's going through all this. I mean, I guess it's just the insecurities that have just plagued her all her life. But speaking of Katie, she managed to put those insecurities aside real fast so she could have her drink from the house for one thing. And then number two, I noticed that she got cozy with the doctor about Ridge's business. Now, just like we just talked about on the thread before, like, I guess we wouldn't have anything to watch if people stay out of each other's business, but it was like, damn, people just, blather all kind of accusations out in public. Nobody locks a fucking door. Oh, excuse my friend. Nobody locks a door, just like when Thomas just busts right in. And another thing too, if I had wrote it down, like, Grandpa and Caroline, they need to work on their game face, around Thomas. Like literally, as soon as he walks in the room, Ridge is all like, and then Caroline's like, they're all being like extra fake, and and it's just like, that's not even right. And like, I don't even see how he doesn't. I mean, he kind of sees what's going on, but I guess he's just like, well, I don't know. I guess they're just going through being new parents or whatever. Speaking of kids, though, I really wish they would age RJ. Like, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like he needs to be on the scene and just from the aspect of him now having this younger brother. Now he's the younger brother. For a while, they were the younger brother. And another thing too that I noticed is that as they've gotten older, they don't really have anybody dealing with RJ. Of course, it was different before they aged Hope, because before they aged Hope, RJ and Hope were in that, they were kind of a pair and they were always together. And then in fact, wait a minute. I thought RJ was older, but I guess not. I forgot. But anyway, and so I feel like they need him. I think he would be somebody interesting for Nicole. Probably somebody else, the Trasha chick would want to go after. Oh, we got a real Forrester now. Well, actually, he's not even a real Forrester either. So, oh well. Eric's so generous. Everybody's a Forrester. He doesn't care. Unlike his son, that selfish bastard. And speaking of his son, Ridge, like he is blind as usual. He always thinks he has stuff under control. He always thinks he's making the right decisions, and of course, it never works out. He's like, oh, we have nothing to worry about. And meanwhile, Drunky May is over at Giardino's, toasting it up now that Dollar Bill's back at home with the lovely Brooke looking all. She must have got her roots touched up too, because she looked really good today. But because every now and then, it goes a little while between touch ups, and you can just like you can see my you can see my gray. Every now and then you can see Brooke's gray, but she must have went and got a good touch up because she looked pretty good today. I thought Katie actually looked pretty good today. But anyway, back to Grandpa. He's around here, acting all foolish. And then on top of that, he's trying to threaten this man like he's Dollar Bill. Like, you don't strike your dressmaker ass don't strike no fear in the heart of anybody. Shoot. Now, Dollar Bill, if it was Dollar Bill, I would have been like, I guess I'm just going to have to learn how to be a nurse or something. Because based off of what the doctor was talking about, it seems like he had some kind of off-screen issue as far as like, especially if you're sitting at El Giardino's, knocking them back to back during the day. Obviously, you had some issues. In fact, if I were rich, I would even say that. I'd be like, look, bro, you obviously having some issues right now. In fact, they might even use that to say that a mistake was made, that because this guy was improper, which might even be true. That would be an interesting spin on it if it turns out they're looking all guilty and shameful about keeping this secret for nothing when it turns out the baby might really be Ridge's son, which I hope not. I hope not in a way. I mean, I don't necessarily think Thomas is father material right now by any stretch, but at the same time, it's like, it would be something different and in a way. Yeah. Also, like I said the other day, oh man, I wish it were now. I'm looking forward to seeing Sasha's face when Zende breaks it down and says, "We don't love you, hoes." Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah. Like I don't know what she thinking. Like, she's another one who's just going around nilly-willy, and she's not really reading the clues. Like, although he's hanging out with her and he's being, respectful and stuff, if you look at his body language, he is not that into you, boo-boo. I'm sorry. And another thing, too, they're trying to make her into this model, and I'm just like, they need to work on her modeling skills or something, because she just, I don't know. It's not feeling her. What else did I write down? Oh yeah, back to Grandpa Grizzly. Yeah. So once again, he was gonna not tell Caroline about the doctor. He was just gonna make his little wannabe threat and just keep going on like that's gonna solve something. And it's just like, boo, that's not how any of this works. After all these years, you still don't know how any of this works? Like, what is wrong with you? Oh, I know what's wrong with him. Stephanie, in all her glory, spoiled the shit out of him and made him think that his shit doesn't stink. That's what happened to him. But anyway, and every woman since then is basically reinforced that. But yeah, it's just like, once again, until she caught on to him, he wasn't gonna tell her nothing. If he had told her 21 Jump Street that he couldn't have kids, and on top of that, he did actually say that he didn't want any more kids, and she was like, okay, I'm cool with that. Let's just give this a shot. He wants to be Mr. Wannabe Noble, talking about, oh, well, you need somebody who's going to be able to give you kids. So we're just going to break up now, although we're going to still work together. And, despite the fact that your heart is broken. Okay, bye-bye now. Of course she going to go get drunk. Now, she shouldn't have took them damn pills. They didn't even belong to her. But yeah. So there's that. And there's the little ugly prosthetic baby. And yeah, so I'm trying to think anything else I need to talk about today. Nothing's coming up in my mind. I actually watched Y&R for the first time in a couple of days. It's pretty interesting today. Watching everybody lying and getting away with it. And Dumber, I don't get that chick. Why is she always against everybody else but her grandfather? I'm just like, don't get me wrong. I know Victor's not the person you want to cross. But I'm just like, and I have to agree with Phyllis. I'm not a Phyllis fan by any stretch of the imagination. I like the idea of her character, but once again, it's just something about her that puts me off. And there's nothing, and even before, I actually like her more now that GNT Nomi is playing her as opposed to Michelle Safford. I never liked Phyllis back then. I just didn't see it, especially when they put her and Nick together anyway to create this stupid child that they have on here who's good for nothing but being everybody else's pet. That's another thing that annoys me about her and Noah. To be honest with you, I'm kind of glad they reduced Noah's story because he was just as annoying. I mean, I don't know. I guess I just get it from Nick, who also annoys me. Who is also good for absolutely nothing. And Victoria is just the most raggedy, vengeful, bitter bitch I've seen in a long time. Well, her and Phyllis are running neck and neck right now. But anyway, we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.